Chapter 1. The Heat, the Suit, and the Scandal. The ballroom of Albrecht Global Enterprises looked like it had been dipped in gold. Chandeliers the size of spaceships hovered over diamond-polished floors, fountains flowed with champagne, and violins played background music that sounded like money. Ezra Vale adjusted his cheap, rented tux and scowled at the opulence. He hated company events, fake people, forced smiles, and worst of all, Riven Albrecht, his smug, terrifying, too-perfect alpha boss. He spotted Riven across the room almost immediately, surrounded by executives, politicians, and models. The man stood out like a dark flame in a sea of sheep. Tall, broad-shouldered, sharp suit, tailored so well it could cut glass. His long black coat with gold accents gave him the aura of a mafia boss who moonlights as a CEO. His eyes, glacier blue, landed on Ezra the moment he walked in. Ezra rolled his eyes. Of course he's looking at me. That narcissist probably thinks I showed up just to admire his jawline. Flashback. Riven's obsession begins. Riven had known for years. The first day Ezra walked into his office, irritated, broke, and 2 hours late for his secretary interview, Riven had caught it. That scent faint, hidden, but unmistakable. His fated mate. But something was wrong. Ezra had no pheromonal presence, like it had been wiped out. Riven, however, never mentioned it. Instead, he spent 3 years torturing himself while watching Ezra sass clients, insult board members, and single-handedly keep the company running while flipping off his boss behind his back. He never fired Ezra for anything, not even when Ezra put a "Beware of Rabid Alpha" sticker on his door, changed Riven's ringtone to a baby crying, ate all the macarons in his private stash, and blamed accounting. Ezra thought Riven kept him around because he was a sadistic control freak. In truth, Riven was utterly, hopelessly, dangerously in love with his mate. "I could wait," he once muttered to himself, staring at Ezra sleeping on the office couch. "Even if it takes a lifetime, I'll wait until your body accepts me. Back to the ball." Ezra made a beeline to the dessert table. He shoved a chocolate-covered strawberry in his mouth while muttering, "If I'm going to suffer, I'll suffer with sugar." That's when it hit him. A pulse under his skin, heat crawling up his spine, legs shaking. The room spun. His breath caught in his throat and, "You've got to be kidding me," he whispered. "Now? In front of rich people?" His body went limp for a second, heart racing. He stumbled toward the balcony. Riven noticed instantly. His smile faded. Drink abandoned. He followed, calmly but fast. Ezra collapsed against the balcony railing, panting. His body was burning, his vision blurred, and everything smelled overwhelming. The sharp tang of alpha scent. Pheromones he wasn't supposed to feel. No, I don't go into heat. I'm defective. This isn't..." Riven's hand touched his back. Ezra flinched. "You knew," he hissed weakly, turning to him. "You've always known something, haven't you?" Riven didn't lie. "Yes." Ezra blinked once, then collapsed into him as darkness and heat consumed him. The next morning, Ezra woke up in silk sheets, naked, sore, and furious. He sat up, grabbed the nearest pillow, and screamed into it like a dying banshee. The scent in the room was unbearable. Alpha, bonded, mated, claimed. Ezra whipped his head toward the man standing by the window in a robe, sipping coffee like a smug Greek god. Riven turned, eyes gleaming. "Good morning, sunshine." Ezra shrieked. He launched a pillow at Riven's head. It bounced off harmlessly. "I slept with you? You, corporate demon." Riven smiled dreamily. "You glowed. It was beautiful. Stop saying stuff like that." Ezra stomped across the room, tried to yank the door open. Locked. He glared at Riven. "Let me out before I shove my shoe so far up. I had the locks changed for your safety. You passed out 3 times. I monitored your vitals all night." Ezra growled. He was already halfway through planning a lawsuit and a murder when Riven gently walked up to him. He cupped Ezra's face. "You're not defective. You're perfect, and you're mine." Ezra stared at him for a long moment, then kneed him in the shin and ran back to the bed. "I hate you." "You said that in your sleep, too," Riven muttered, massaging his leg. Still the sweetest thing I've ever heard. Ezra screamed again. Chapter 2. Pregnant and Pissed Off. It started with a muffin. A harmless, stupid blueberry muffin from the office cafeteria. Ezra took one bite, chewed twice, and immediately stood up mid-meeting and vomited into his boss's executive trash bin. The entire room fell silent. The board members stared. Riven stood up slowly, eyes sharp, but lips twitching like he was holding back a smirk. Ezra wiped his mouth with a napkin, blinked, and said, "It's the muffin. It's cursed. Probably gluten." Later that day, hospital from hell. Ezra sat in the sterile hospital room, aggressively scrolling through memes to distract himself from his soul imploding. The nurse came in, smiling. "Congratulations, you're 7 weeks pregnant." Silence. Ezra's phone slipped from his hands. I'm sorry. I thought you said I was pregnant. Like, pregnant. Like, put a baby in me. Pregnant." The nurse blinked. "You are." "I can't be." "But you are." "I'm defective." "The fetus says otherwise." Ezra spiraled. By the time he got back to the office, his brain had already filed the entire event under delusion. Clearly, he was hallucinating. Hormonal. Poisoned by office coffee. Until he walked into his office and found a pregnancy-safe ergonomic chair, omega-friendly snacks stocked on his desk, lavender calming diffuser, a doctor's note pinned beside his calendar that read, "Prenatal appointment booked every Friday at 3. Ezra screamed, "Riven in!" Albrecht Tower, CEO office. Riven was in the middle of a virtual shareholders meeting. Ezra kicked the door open. The camera shook. The shareholders gasped. Ezra marched in holding the pregnancy report like it was evidence in a murder case. "You manipulative maniac, you planned this." Riven muted the call, turned slowly, and smiled like a cat who ate the whole buffet. "If I had, we'd already be married, my sunshine." Ezra threw the paper at his face. "You smug incubator. You're not even denying it, you're enjoying this." "Of course I am. I've always wanted a family with you." "I hate you." "You've said that a lot lately." "Is it code for something else?" Office chaos begins. Within 48 hours, Riven assigned 14 bodyguards to Ezra. Ezra found emergency omega-friendly protein bars in every drawer he owned. A personal chef started delivering lunch to his desk. The company's elevator started skipping floors to give Ezra privacy. Riven installed a fingerprint-locked nap pod for omega hormonal breakdowns. Ezra tried to resign 23 times. Resignation #1. "I'm quitting." Riven. "You can't. You're carrying the air." Resignation #7. "I'm quitting. Again." Riven. "Your contract says you need 6 months' notice. Also, I'm not accepting it." Resignation #18. "I'm pregnant, mentally unstable, and allergic to your face. Let me go." Riven. "Denied. I ordered chamomile tea." Each time, Riven's rejection came with a smirk that practically purred. "You are mine. You can't leave me in this lifetime." Ezra yelled, bitched, threw a stapler once. Riven caught it midair. Ezra tried to move out of his apartment. Riven upgraded it into a penthouse without telling him. He came home one day and found the fridge filled with omega-safe pickles, soft slippers, and matching mugs that said, "Daddy" and "Baby Daddy." Ezra screamed again. Secret nursery. Meanwhile, in Riven's top-floor office, a soundproofed hidden room was being constructed. Inside, a hand-painted nursery, soft moonlight-themed wallpaper, custom crib, stuffed foxes and wolves, all monitored by security cameras so Riven could watch his baby and mate while doing quarterly reports. Riven to the designer. "Make sure the room is warm. He likes warmth. And no sharp corners. He bruises easily when he rages." Hormonal meltdown of the year. Ezra walks into the office wearing a hoodie and murder in his eyes. He slams his bag down. "I have been pregnant for a month. You're treating me like I'm made of glass. My feet are swelling. I can smell emotions. Someone sneezed in the elevator and I cried. What have you done to me, Riven?" Riven calmly puts a glass of chilled juice in front of him. Lime juice with ginger. It helps with nausea. Stop being nice, it's confusing me. Would you prefer foot rubs? Stop offering foot rubs, I'm mad. You're glowing. I will sue you. Ezra storms out. Riven watches him go with a soft smile. My sunshine. Chapter 3. Smells like conspiracy. Everything was going chaotically wonderful for Riven Albrecht. Ezra was, begrudgingly, living in his penthouse, going to prenatal appointments, after at least one kidnapping-level intervention, and, best of all, pregnant with his heir, his fated mate, the love of his life, the angry, sarcasm-powered hurricane he worshipped every day. Yes, Ezra screamed at him regularly. Yes, Ezra called him, you emotionally constipated control freak, at breakfast. Yes, Ezra tried to bite a bodyguard for blocking his snack cabinet. But none of it mattered because Riven had what he wanted, a family. Almost. Because underneath the CEO's calm exterior, one question haunted him. Why did Ezra think he was scentless? Why was his fertility suppressed? Why, despite being my fated mate, did his scent never fully reach me like it should be until he went into a sudden heat at the gala? Riven didn't believe in accidents. So he did what any loving, obsessive, mildly unhinged billionaire alpha would do. He investigated. CEO mode activated. Riven's private investigator stood in his office, pale and sweating. We found something, sir. Riven, voice cold. Speak. Your mate, Ezra Vale, has been exposed to long-term scent suppressants and hormonal blockers since age 14. The temperature in the room dropped. What? His stepmother and stepsister added it to his tea. Medication masked as anxiety pills, daily, for nearly 10 years. Reason? Riven asked, tone flat. Inheritance control. Psychological manipulation. They wanted him weak, dependent, infertile, easier to manage. The silence was deadly. Riven, soft and venomous. Make sure they can never be too close to my sunshine again. I don't want garbage near him or our child. The investigator nodded once and disappeared. Cut 2. Ezra, the Chaos Goblin. Meanwhile, Ezra was yelling at his prenatal vitamin bottle. Why do these taste like sadness? He slammed the container onto the marble kitchen counter. Riven, did you import vitamins from hell? Riven entered, calm as ever, carrying 2 glasses of omega-safe mocktails. Those are French and prescribed by the best specialist in the country. Well, France needs new taste buds, and I need donuts. I had donuts airlifted from Japan. They'll arrive at 2. Ezra blinked. You what? Riven, you said you were craving something soft, like clouds but emotionally damaged. That described Japanese mochi donuts perfectly. Ezra blinked again. Stop being cute. It's disturbing. Riven, soft smile. You're disturbing. I love it. Ezra tried not to combust. Riven, the alpha, beneath the silk. Later that night, Riven sat alone in his office. The walls were dim, only the soft baby blue glow of the secret nursery behind his bookshelf illuminating his face. Files lay in front of him. Ezra's suppressed medical records, photos of his stepfamily, bank statements showing stolen funds, audio recordings of the sister laughing. He's so pathetic. He really thinks no one wants him. As long as we keep dosing him, he'll never find his mate, never get pregnant. The estate will be mine. Something in Riven snapped. His fists clenched. They tried to erase you, he whispered to the photo of Ezra on his desk. They tried to ruin what was mine, what was meant to be mine. Riven's rage, off-screen justice. By morning, things were set in motion. The stepmother's luxury villa? Frozen. The stepsister's influencer accounts? Gone. Anonymous whistleblowers, sent to the press. Confidential lawsuits? Filed with ruthless speed. One private car mysteriously exploded outside their estate. Accident, of course. Riven to his assistant. Make it legal, but let it hurt. Yes, sir. And never, ever let Ezra find out I did this. He'll try to fight me, and I'll let him win, and it's exhausting. Ezra's meltdown. Feet, donuts. Ezra finally got his Japanese donuts. He took a bite, moaned, cried a little, then got mad again. Stop making me happy. I'm trying to be pissed off. Riven, walking by. You're glowing. Ezra. You keep saying that. I swear I will. Wait, is that new wallpaper? He stormed into the living room where Riven had secretly redesigned the walls. There were pastel clouds, floating foxes, baby-safe furniture, a baby room forming inside their home. Ezra blinked. You're building a nursery. For you and our child. Did I agree to this? Did you disagree in writing? Ezra screamed into a couch pillow. Soft but dangerous. Riven returned to his office that night. Checked his messages. Stepmother fled the country. Stepsister in custody. Estate frozen. Truth pending exposure. He looked at the photo on his desk. Ezra eating a donut and flipping off the camera. Riven smiled. You're mine, sunshine, and no one hurts what's mine. Chapter 4. The Mate Reveal. 6 months into pregnancy, Ezra was a mess. Not emotionally. Just physically, mentally, spiritually, hormonally, professionally, and violently. His back ached. His ankles were puffier than his attitude, and the baby had decided that 3 a.m. was karate practice hour. And worst of all, Riven wouldn't leave him alone. Stop hovering. I'm not a chicken egg. Technically, you're carrying a child, not an omelet. Get out. Office life while pregnant. Ezra stomped into the office wearing an oversized hoodie, sunglasses, and slippers. The boardroom went dead silent. He flopped into his pregnancy-safe ergonomic throne and hissed, If any of you ask me if I'm glowing, I will throw this tablet at your face. Meanwhile, Riven sat at the head of the table, staring at him like he hung the stars. He's glowing, Riven whispered to his assistant. Sir, he just threatened assault. Yes, radiantly. Later, Ezra found a personalized pregnancy schedule in his inbox titled, Sunshine's Comfort Plan, updated for Kicks Chaos. He threw his tablet into a potted plant. Ezra versus Riven, round #309. After another day of foot swelling, unrequested belly rubs from staff, who were promptly fired, and someone suggesting decaf coffee, Ezra snapped. He slammed open Riven's office door. I'm quitting. Again. This is a toxic environment. I'm suing. Also, I'm taking all the donuts with me. Riven set down his pen and stood up calmly. Walked over. Took Ezra's hand. And softly said, You're not defective, Ezra. You're my fated mate I've always known. Silence. Ezra stared. Stared harder. Then, You what? Chaos, punches, panic. Ezra reeled back and punched Riven in the chest. You knew. Since when? Since the day you walked into my office with coffee stains on your shirt and cursed at the printer. And you said nothing. I didn't want to scare you. Too late, I'm scared. I'm panicking. You're still glowing. Stop saying that. Ezra burst into angry tears. You're insane, and I'm moving out. Riven blinked once. Too late. I bought the building. Ezra screamed again. Nesting instincts. Betrayal. Later that evening, after slamming all the doors, throwing 2 pillows at Riven's face, and declaring this relationship is dictatorship with foot massages, Ezra curled up on the penthouse couch with a bowl of ice cream. Riven sat 2 seats away, pretending to work, but actually glancing at Ezra every 10 seconds like he was watching the moon breathe. Eventually, Ezra's head slid sideways, then down, then right onto Riven's shoulder. Riven froze. Ezra grumbled in his sleep. Warm. Shut up. Stay there. Riven didn't move for 3 hours. Dreamlike cuddles. Later that night, Ezra found himself in bed. Arms wrapped around something solid, heartbeat thudding under his ear. He woke up, eyes hazy. Whoa! You pulled me into bed. I tried to stay on the couch, Riven whispered. Liar. Swear on our unborn child. Still sue you in the morning. I'll file it for you. Ezra snorted against his chest and fell back asleep. Chapter 5. Wedding crash burn. It all started with a contract. Ezra squinted at the thick document titled Employee Partner Safety and Asset Protection Agreement. He flipped through pages, scoffing. What the hell is this legal soup? Clause 3B. In case of alpha-linked threat or emotional instability, CEO may act in loco parentis. What are you, my mother? Riven smiled sweetly. Too sweetly. It's just for your protection. And the babies. It ensures inheritance, property rights, medical power of attorney, blah blah blah, corporate crap. Fine, whatever. Hand me a pen. Ezra signed it, half asleep, half hormonal. Fully annoyed. He didn't notice the fine print at the end. By signing, both parties agree to immediate legal marriage under Omega Alpha Protection Law, Section 12, Fated Mates Clause. Riven did. Riven noticed everything. 3 days later, Ezra woke up to a glittering white tuxedo laid on his bed. He blinked. Who's getting married? Riven, walking in while adjusting a cufflink. You. Ezra. I'm sorry, did I die in my sleep and wake up in hell? You signed the contract. You're legally my spouse now. I thought it was a protection agreement. It is, just eternal. Ezra shrieked so loud the chandelier rattled. The wedding spectacle. Ezra was forcibly dressed by Riven's private style team, who threatened to cry if he messed up his hair again. The venue? A castle. In France. With doves. And a drone light show. Ezra muttered, "This is so over the top. We're not royalty." Riven, "You are? Mine." News headlines exploded. Billionaire CEO marries secret secretary. Made in surprise luxury wedding. Alpha Riven Albrecht finally claims Omega he's obsessed with. Omega looks ready to commit murder. Viral wedding photos. Is the secretary smiling or plotting escape? Chaos on the aisle. Ezra walked down the aisle like he was heading to a guillotine. Riven stood waiting, dressed in white and gold, eyes fixed only on him like he couldn't see anything else. Priest. Do you, Riven Albrecht, take this? Riven. Yes, priest. You could have waited. Ezra was glaring holes through the altar. Until Riven whispered softly, just loud enough for Ezra to hear. You're mine, no matter what. This is just making it official. Ezra felt it again. That annoying, traitorous warmth. His nesting instincts purred. His hormones sighed. His heart, the snitch, skipped. But his mouth? I swear I will make your life hell for this. Riven. I look forward to it, my husband. The reception, where Ezra loses it again. There were fireworks, golden cutlery, a live band. Ezra sat at the bridal table with a plate full of food and a glare that could fry a god. Guests kept whispering, paparazzi kept flashing, and Riven kept holding his hand under the table like they were in love or something. Ezra, muttering, this wasn't in the job description. Riven, you're not my employee anymore. You're my spouse. Ezra, great. Do I get dental? The cake disaster. Ezra was already on edge when someone mentioned wedding cake cutting. A 12-tier cake rolled in taller than most buildings. Cut it together, the MC chirped. Say something sweet to each other. Ezra deadpanned. I hope you choke on it. Riven, smiling warmly. As long as it's with you. The crowd. Oh, tilde. Ezra. Death glare intensifies. Meanwhile, online, #CEO Omega Wedding, trending globally. Fan edits of Riven looking at Ezra like he hung the moon. Twitter theories. This Omega looks like he's being held hostage, but also weirdly adored. Their dynamic is grumpy pregnant chaos demon, ex-possessive obsessed mafia, CEO, and I love it. After the vows. That night, back in the honeymoon suite, Ezra stood by the window in his new luxury penthouse. Yes, another one. He held a glass of juice, glaring at his reflection. Riven entered, slowly wrapping a warm blanket around him. Still mad? Yes. Want to move out? I already tried. You bought every unit. Would you like to file for divorce? You'd stall it in court until our child turns 18. Exactly. Ezra sighed dramatically. I hate you so much it's physically painful. And yet, you're still here. Ezra didn't reply. He just leaned his head back against Riven's chest, quietly, without protest. Somewhere far away, Ezra's stepsister watched the viral wedding coverage. Eyes filled with jealousy, heart filled with rage, and plans beginning to brew. Chapter 6. Attempted Murder, Unleashed Alpha. Things were almost peaceful. Ezra still yelled at Riven daily. Still refused to say "I love you" out loud. Still threw at least one slipper across the house every 48 hours. Still called Riven a walking red flag in designer suits. But lately, he was yelling with less venom. More pouting, more sulking, more accidental cuddling during movie nights. And Riven? Riven had never been happier. "You're still annoying," Ezra muttered one morning, biting into a croissant. "And you're still beautiful," Riven replied, wiping crumbs off Ezra's lips. Ezra turned away to hide his blush. "Shut up. I will throw this baby at you once it's out." The step-snake sister. The press dinner was Riven's idea, a soft public showcase of their married bliss, and a subtle middle finger to the tabloids. Ezra showed up in all-black maternity couture, radiating chaos, sarcasm, and glowing despite protesting it. But what neither of them expected was her. Celeste Vale. Ezra's stepsister, rage in heels, envy bottled in perfume, and the uninvited guest no one wanted. "What is she doing here?" Ezra muttered. "Security said she RSVP'd under a fake name. I will shove this centerpiece down her throat." Riven smirked. "You're so romantic when threatened." The poisoned toast. Celeste approached with fake tears and a sweeter-than-syrup voice. "Ezra, darling. I know we've had our differences, but you look so beautiful tonight." Ezra. "Thanks. I got the dress from the Stay the Hell Away From Me collection." She offered a drink. For the baby, a toast? Ezra rolled his eyes but took it, until Riven's nose twitched. Alpha instincts. He grabbed the glass, sniffed it, eyes darkening. "You idiot," he hissed. The next moment was chaos. Riven smashed the glass. Bodyguards swarmed. Ezra yelled. Reporters gasped. "It's poisoned," Riven growled. "She tried to kill my mate." Public expose. Riven stood at the center of the room like a god of wrath and Gucci. "Everyone listen. This woman, Celeste Vale, has spent years abusing, drugging, and manipulating my mate. She suppressed his scent, damaged his fertility, tried to steal his inheritance, and now she attempted murder." Gasps. Flashes. News sites imploding. Celeste tried to run. Too late. Security dragged her forward. "I was supposed to marry you, Riven, not him," she screamed. "You were supposed to obey Ezra. You ruined everything. He got the life I was meant to have." Ezra stood up, flames behind his eyes. "I didn't ruin your dreams, Celeste. I just exist, and apparently that's enough to destroy your weak ego." Celeste snarled. "You don't deserve him." Ezra's voice dropped. "Talk about my husband again and I'll end you. Pregnant or not, I'll make it poetic." Riven blinked. Ezra just defended him. Riven's heart did a backflip. His pheromones probably did a ballet twirl. He was dizzy with joy. "You defended me," he whispered like it was Christmas. Ezra. "Shut up. I was mid-threat." Riven, lovesick. "You're so hot when you rage." The aftermath. Riven made sure. Celeste and her mother were arrested immediately. Their assets were frozen. Ezra's inheritance was returned to him legally and publicly. He bought the press company that tried to spin the incident. Riven, to his assistant. "Make sure the headline reads, Alpha CEO protects pregnant mate from family assassination attempt. Justice served hot." Assistant. Noted. Back at home. Ezra sat in bed eating mangoes and glaring at the TV. "Why is everyone saying I'm glowing again?" "Because you are. Stop saying it like I'm a light bulb." Riven handed him a soft blanket and curled beside him. "No one will ever touch you again, I swear it." Ezra paused. Okay." That was hot. Riven smirked. Was that a compliment? Don't push it. I think you love me. I think you're delusional. You just threatened murder for me. Go to sleep before I file another lawsuit. They fell asleep tangled in each other. Ezra's hand on his bump. Riven's arm around his chaotic mate. Their child safe, their enemies dealt with. And for the first time, Ezra didn't scream when Riven kissed his forehead. Chapter 7. My mate, my chaos, my home. Month 9. Omega on the edge. Ezra Vale was 9 months pregnant and over it. His ankles were balloons. His back felt like it owed someone rent. The baby's kicking like she was auditioning for a fight scene. And Riven? Riven was being a sweet, attentive menace every 5 seconds. Drink water. Stop walking without support. Let me carry you to the bathroom. I will pee on you, Riven. Back off. Yet even through the chaos and hormonal fury, something inside Ezra was changing. He didn't scream as much. He let Riven sleep next to him without threatening him. He even, laughed at one of Riven's dad jokes. Ezra, one evening. Ugh, I'm becoming soft. Riven, you're glowing. Ezra, don't push your luck. The space nursery. Ezra waddled into Riven's office to find him unusually flustered. He followed a suspicious trail of baby toys and pushed open a hidden side door and froze. Inside was the nursery, the secret nursery, the one Riven built in silence, long before Ezra even accepted the pregnancy. It was beautiful. Midnight blue walls with hand-painted constellations, a floating moon-shaped crib, soft lullaby lighting, tiny rockets, glowing stars, and the ceiling said, "You are our universe, little one." Ezra blinked back tears, then cried, then yelled at Riven for making him cry, then cried again. You idiot! You soft galaxy-obsessed idiot! Riven, you like it? I love it. I hate that I love it. Riven. Progress. The water break explosion. It happened on a random Tuesday. Ezra was yelling at a show for misusing medical facts when suddenly splash. He blinked down at the floor. Riven. Riven appeared in 0.03 seconds. Yes? I think my water broke. Okay. Also, I hate you. That's fair. Q. Screaming, chaos, an airlifted Omega-approved birthing suite. 6 bodyguards panicking, Riven trying to remain calm while being punched. The labor room, aka the war zone. Ezra was gripping the rails, sweat on his brow, rage in his eyes. I swear to God, if this baby comes out with your stupid smirk, I'm putting her back in. Riven. She'll be perfect like her papa. I hate you. I love you. Ezra punched him. Not hard, not really. But then, you better give me post-birth sushi or I swear I'll divorce you. Riven, grinning, kissing his forehead. Anything for you, sunshine. The baby arrives. At 4:03 a.m., with a final scream of, I am never doing this again. Their daughter arrived. Small, loud, healthy, and already trying to punch the doctor. A perfect little alpha. With Ezra's pout and Riven's intense glare. Nurse. What's her name? Riven. Whatever Ezra wants. Ezra blinked at the little bundle and whispered, Nova, like the stars, like the explosion that brought us here. Nova Albrecht Vale, Alpha, born from chaos and love. 1 week later. Ezra was curled on the couch, baby Nova asleep on his chest. Riven sat beside them, watching them like he still couldn't believe they were real. Ezra, she farted in my face twice today. Riven, she's already fearless. Ezra, she's clearly mine. Riven, clearly. Ezra, quietly, I love you. Riven froze. Ezra looked up with a glare. Say anything cheesy and I'll throw this baby at you. Understood. Say it back. I love you, Ezra. Cool, now go heat up my sushi. And just like that, their life was still chaotic, but now they had a family too.